Good evening, everyone. Mazes once more speaking to us. Let us gather here together because today is going to be an interesting day. I'm going to engage in an interesting expose. Let's get it rolling. So, welcome once more, Mazes speaking to us. Today is the 6th of July 2020. Honestly, I didn't plan to have this conversation this evening because I thought I was going to only see us tomorrow when I would have my engagement with the eminent Yoruba leaders to talk about the invasion of Sunday Igboho's house and the invasion of the rally, and if hear from them if that was legal or if that is are we slowly moving into a state of control. But sadly, somehow that's the event that happened last night and this morning kind of brought me to a point where I said, okay, I'm going to actually come online to say these things. If you recall, couple of weeks ago, there was this video that made round where the first time the governors of the southern Nigerians or southern Nigerian North, for the first time, they were told that they should have consulted the Fulanis. Specifically, that they should have consulted the Fulanis. And we made video, we said, these are adults. They have the right to make decisions that they want to make. So why would we demand that they consult certain sections of the of the country in order to do something that is in the best interest of their own people? And having said that, people thought, okay, that's going to be, the way it is, and obviously things were going to get better. But it appears not that actually hasn't changed. For those of you who have actually forgotten the video I'm talking about, let's listen to him here.
Is that Gandhi said, whatever you do for me without me is against me. Ask all those, 13, 15 governors that met in that hotel. Was there any of the Fulani leaders consulted? Any of the Fulani leaders consulted? So they're there making laws for people that they have not consulted. This is a problem with government, disconnected, out of touch with realities of people. You must sit down and talk with people you are making laws for. None of those governors have sat down with Fulani leaders in wherever they are and tell them what we're planning to do, or what we're going to do, or what alternatives are there. And then they're sitting down there and making laws.
All right.
Be careful.
Now, he ended up his submission by a threat, telling you to be careful. And up to now, no one has ever asked him what he means by that being careful. Be careful that if you continue, we might invade you, or we might come take over your farmland, or what happens. Be careful. Be careful of what, if I may ask? Be careful. That was his parting words. Now let's ask ourselves, if we recall, we may know that the Northern Governors Forum has been in existence only God knows when. The Northern Governors Forum. Recall when we had NSAS, the Northern Governors Forum actually came out to say that the North want obviously, to have and to continue having Northern Governors Forum. You ask yourself, who started the regionalization of forums? Who started it? Who started it? As we speak today, Southern Governors Forum basically met. They do not actually have any structure like website or anything. It's just that because there is a need for them to meet. That's all. That's all they've done. That's all that, because of this threat. Like I said to us the other day, when we look at people like Iboho, you find out that if you had equity and justice, you wouldn't, there wouldn't be any need to have someone like Iboho. But sadly, because when places are raided, people are killed, farmland are razed, women are raped, children are, all manner of things happen. And those that ought to be in charge and to provide security now at this time provides virtually nothing. And that's how these people eventually come out to be what they are. And you ask yourself, why would someone be so obsessed with these Southern Governors Forum? You had your Northern Governors Forum. I mean, it appears sometimes it appears we forget too much. In this country, John Kerry from America came to this country to see who under Goodluck Jonathan? John Kerry. He didn't see the president. He flew in here to see the northern governors, to see the emirs, and flew out of Nigeria. His plane was not downed. Nothing happened, and he left. No one. Did we bring down the roof? Right of association. Right to decide that Mr. A is my friend, Mr. B is my friend. It's your right. And you ask yourself, why would I be bothered? Why would I be bothered? In our street here, at night, when women want to cook, they go in to get soap or anything. Our normal face me and face you here. Before they come out, the soup is already disappeared. And we don't know who is disappearing the soup. And the women now, 13 of them say, okay, you know what? Because somebody is taking my soup whenever I want to cook, you see what? We are going to now add Cameroonian pepper to this soup. And every other person clap, yeah, that's a good idea, so that we know who takes this. But one of your neighbor is saying, why must you do it? It is unhealthy to put Cameroon pepper in your soup. Why must it be this? Why must it be this? Why must it? Aren't you going to start suspecting that neighbor as the person who is actually dealing with your pot of soup? That is exactly what we are dealing with here. That's exactly what we are dealing with here, where you have a set of people who have on their own said, we want to come together to put up a law, ban open grazing in order for us to protect our people. But hey, some people have issues with that. I'm not going to make it too long today, but let me quickly, before I go further, let me quickly share this with us so that we would understand the mentality that drives some of us nuts, because this argument, it can only be annoying. This argument can only be annoying. Let me So watch this interview with Seun Okimbaloye. That's on channels. So now watch this so that you understand what we are up and against. Watch and listen very carefully.
I think the coming together of the governors of the Southern Extraction, to me, believe you me, is the very wrong way to go about, issues of politics that affects the whole nation.
The coming together of the governors in the southern Nigeria is a very wrong way to go about issues concerning politics in Nigeria. Did you hear that? It is a very wrong way. Yet it was not wrong when you started Northern Governors Forum. You see, when we've been saying this for so many years, you need to get your own equal first. It's just that you've been greedy, you've been submitting yourself because of certain individuals. You've been basically doing yourself, but now, thank God, you are awake at last. And now we can no longer allow you people to go back to sleep because we must. We are standing with you to say, go ahead. That open grazing must be implemented. I say the good thing is that because they've already given a deadline, that deadline, they must do it. The Southern governors, by this deadline, this is it. There is no two ways about it. But here is someone sitting down, for many of you who probably didn't get the first statement, because this first statement means a lot. This is what he said. I repeat. Well, before I play again, once more, everyone, good evening once more for joining me. It's a pleasure. I do not take your time for granted. And if you haven't subscribed to this platform, please do. It doesn't cost you anything. Just click on that subscribe button. Afterwards, click on the bell icon. You know, whenever I come online, it's going to let you know that I am now online so you can join me. If you may, I would also want to know where you're watching me. I have someone like Ezeji saying that he's watching from the United Kingdom, London to be precise. But having said so, let's get back to the meat of the matter this evening. Go ahead, Oga.
The governors of the Southern Extraction, to me, believe you me, is the very wrong way to go about, issues of politics that affects the whole nation. Because the message here, unfortunately, is like ganging up against the rest of the Nigerians, particularly the North, by state actors who should be the ones that will protect and advance the unity of this country and ensure that all the parts of this country will feel comfortable by whoever end of the day will emerge as the president of this country.
I don't know how you feel, but I've listened to this I've listened to this nonsense more than 5 times today. And each time I listen to it, I get angry. Thank you. Oh, wow. Many of you, Ontario, Canada, Sweden, India, UK, New Jersey, Milan, Newi. And someone is watching me from Newi. That's good. Hamburg. Ich grüße euch. Ich begrüße euch. Which one is UAR? Okay. So Cross River, but people understand me where I'm coming from. Again, if you're joining me, please do me a favor by subscribing and hitting the like button. Share this with someone else, because honestly, you can't light up a candle and put it under the bed. Share this stream with someone. After this as well, share with others, because this personally is getting me angry. Someone is watching from Istanbul. I might be in Istanbul very soon, actually. I might be in Istanbul in August, but I'm not too sure of the date. Oh, I have people watching from Abuja, from Turkey, from United Kingdom, from Japan. Oh, Japan, I thought it's your midnight now. So thank you very much. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for those of you that supported us yesterday with super chats again. But people, okay, for the last time, let's listen to this and listen to this. Remove your mind from being a Southern Nigerian. Just remove your mind from being that. Just be human. Okay, just be human for it. Just be human. Do not be Igbo, Yoruba. Just be human. Have no affiliation. Close your eyes and listen to this and tell me if someone who has a Northern Governors Forum that has been in existence for so long, if that person does that person have the right to actually tell you that you are not supposed to have what they have? So they are the only ones that should actually be in a position to have governors forum, to think and do things for themselves. The same way when we had NSAS, right? You recall, and people were protesting for SARS. And the Northern Governors Forum met and said, oh, we thank you, the youth, for not joining the rascals in the South, for not joining them in protesting. We thank you, the youth, for staying true to yourself. We are proud of being Northerners and we are proud of Northern Governors Forum. So how come a people that has taken such stand will now come and tell you it is not your right, it is not within your right to have a Southern Governors Forum? Again, let us listen to this again.
I think the coming together of the governors of the Southern extraction, to me, believe you me, is the very wrong way to go about issues of politics that affects the whole nation. Because the message here, unfortunately, is like ganging up against the rest of the Nigerians, particularly the North, by state actors who should be the ones that will protect and advance the unity of this country and ensure that all the parts of this country will feel comfortable by whoever end of the day will emerge as the president of this country. But
now, this is so far that this is Sani Yabaji, right? This is what he has said so far. Now, please kindly just oppose it with this. Put these two statements side by side.
Is that Gandhi said, whatever you do for me without me is against me. Ask all those, whatever, 13, 15 governors that met in that hotel. Was there any of the Fulani leaders consulted? Any of the Fulani leaders consulted? So they are there making laws for people that they have not consulted. This is a problem with government, disconnected, out of touch with realities of people. You must sit down and talk with people you are making laws for. None of that those governors have sat down with Fulani leaders in wherever they are and tell them what we are planning to do, or what we're going to do, or what alternatives are there. And then they're sitting down there and making laws.
All right.
Be careful.
They are just sitting down there and making laws. Be careful, or else. They are just sitting down there and making laws. Making laws to protect their lives and their properties. Making laws to protect their citizens who elect them into office to speak for them. They are making laws to avert calamities. They are making laws for everyone to live in peace. And someone will sit down somewhere. You see, sorry, people, I'm honestly so struggling not to use foul language, but it is, it is so annoying. The arrogance in these statements makes me sick. The arrogance in this statement makes me sick. If it was something that was done, if the Southern governors were the first, if there was nothing like Governors Forum, or there was only Governors Forum, and the Southern governors were the first to go form Southern Governors Forum, and somebody makes such statement, it could be understood. Honestly, I could understand that and say, okay, I mean, people, if we're already doing this, why do you have to go do this? But here we are in a country that have Governors Forum, and you came together, broke away, formed Northern Governors Forum for more than 20, how many years? 1999 to now is about 22 years, is it? For over 22 years, some people stood by and watched. Do you? Until they now said, and again, you see the reason, because if not for the fact that killer herdsmen overtook farmlands and started committing atrocities, you probably would not have them agree on anything. But for the fact that there is this existential threat, and they were seeing it, especially in Oyo, that's why they also elected the Oyo State governor to be their headship. And they came to Lagos yesterday, and said, we are now going to use Lagos as our headquarters. Now that one, they prepared them. Aisha, can you speak to them for 1 minute, please?
Southern governors, hey, I carry handful now. Hey, see that be, now. One communicate when I carry come on. Now they don't talk choo for everywhere. You understand? Small thing, yaka, Northern governors meeting, yaka, Northern governors meeting, yaka, Northern governors meeting. Nobody, and I repeat, nobody has monopoly of intolerance. Nobody has monopoly of being selfish. Nobody has monopoly of being self-centered. Everybody has that capacity to be. That some people need to do and don't mean say they don't know anything. Almost Southern governors.
No be me talker. You started your thing, someone just emulated you, and suddenly you get angry. You get angry, Oga. Okay, tell us. To the point that this man looked at all the Sultan governors, called them Nnamdi Kanu and Igboho, that they are behaving like, Oga, wetin happen? Look.
But if you go the way you are going, and you have all the things listed in the.
What is your problem? Your problem is that they came together to say we would no longer allow Malu, cow, COW, to move on the street without being transported. People are saying, okay, somehow we've been brought down to 18th century, but I think the world is leaving us behind. Let us now calm down and see if we can come up to 19th to 20th century. We're not talking about 21st century, by the way. We're not talking about, if we're talking about 21st century, what we'll be talking about is how to build skyscrapers and maybe use between the 15th and the 30th floor as ranch. Because that's what people do with air conditions, blowing the cows. No, we are not talking. We're just trying to step up to 20th century where we will just get the cows, allow them roam in a place that we can control. That's what we are, and we are getting angry on an idea of 20th century, not even 21st century, not 21st century, for Christ's sake, for crying out loud.
This country, and ensure that all the parts of this country will feel comfortable by whoever end of the day will emerge as the president of this country. But if you go the way you are going, and you have all the things listed in the communique or in their meeting. It seems to be a kind of ganging up against the North. When you look at the grazing, you look at the insecurity, you look at the issue of politics.
You look at grazing, you look at insecurity. How can a people coming together to say we want to arrest insecurity, how would that get you angry, sir? So it means you are the one behind insecurity. Open grazing. I said, I do not want cow to come to my farm and graze my corns. How would you get angry? Honestly, I do not understand that, for Christ's sake. I do not understand it. It is like many of you who live abroad would understand this maybe better. People don't know the crime it is when you come to a mechanic village. Everywhere is black. Those oil that spill on the floor. You can go to jail abroad with it. For it, it's just like a state in the northern Nigeria saying, "Okay, we do not want all these oil spilling around here, and we want every mechanic. If either you pour dust so that it absorbs these oils, or you find a way to make sure that all the engine you work on, the oil doesn't pour on the floor." And someone in the southeast will get angry because he deals in spare parts business and says, "Oh, these things, you're ganging up against the southeast, or you're ganging up against the south." It's about the environment, for Christ's sake. I don't know. Should I cut somebody's brain and maybe fix it somewhat? I mean, what's wrong with us? We cannot be talking about people are dying, communities are being destroyed. And the governors are basically saying,
how can we have elected officials, governors for that matter, coming out in this manner to emphasize things that divide us, not talking about things that unite?
Oga, if not that I have respect for elders, I would have said that you should shut up, but I wouldn't say that. How can you talk about things that divide us? So you're not aware that these cow, as if the nation is now called Cowneria or whatever. Is it that you don't understand that this cow thing is dividing the nation? In the last 2-3 years, why was it that in 2019 people woke up in the morning and saw January in Benue 250 people killed? Why? Is it not because of cow? Why was the game reserve in Oyo State, why was it overrun? Is it not cow? Why was Uzowani? Why did people go there and kill individuals there in 2016? Is it not because of cow? Why did people go to Ebonyi State and ransack a community and kill people? Is it not because of cow? In Edo, why is it that plantain farmlands were ravaged? Is it not because of cow? Then we say, if this cow is giving us problem, Oga, please, can you move your cow? We're not saying don't do cow business. Sometimes, the conversation makes me sick. It reduces me to come and be discussing these mundane things. But neither would I keep quiet when I see such arrant nonsense being absolute rubbish being said on the national TV unchallenged. And you're there sitting down telling me that because they met for the second time, now you don't get the erection. What's up? Man, only two times. Only 2 times. They've met two, and you're already vibrating. Don't worry. September is around the corner. We'll see. Because everybody's now wising up. Everybody's wising up. I said it the other day. There would never have been an Igboho if the law were upheld. Igboho would have stayed at the realm of a political whatever. I don't before some of you get angry, but you understand what I mean. You would have stayed in the in the realm of a political big big boyism or big manism. Put it that way, As in, I come know even when you paint some words, you got to paint it so that some people will tell me you're being political correct. Of course, I'm going to be political correct. But what it is, but the moment people were killed, everyone was like, okay, what do we do? Amotekun, okay, we'll draft you in. Amoteku go in. Amoteku couldn't do anything because he came with a more sophisticated weapon. Okay, again, people were killed. All the killings, let's get something right. All the killings happening. Not all the killings happening is being done by the people being accused. But hey, when the state, the nation, appears incompetent and appears unwilling to get whoever is behind these crimes, that's why you see people taking laws into their hands. And the person in charge of security will tell you, defend yourself. And you say, how? Okay, am I going to defend myself with my two whatever? What am I going to defend myself with? With machete? Against a man with AK-47? Am I going to defend myself? How? But it is easier to tell us, defend yourself. Okay, now we are defending ourselves now. You told us to defend ourselves. You think we are all idiots that we don't know? Defend ourselves. We know how to do it. You see, God bless former Ekiti State Governor, Ayo Fayose. He's a man who saw tomorrow. When everybody was shouting, blah, 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 he was the first person that said, I don't want cows to move in my state. You can call him anything, but his own was effective. He used hunters. My suggestion is we must begin to get ready for barbecue. Any cow we see on the road after that day, to barbecue and give unto motherless baby children who never eat protein for so long. We must somewhat get grip of this rubbish. What is it? No one says you wouldn't trade in cow destiny. Of course, it is still business. But why do we even have this conversation that put cow in a truck and move it from one state to another? That's all. And it's an impossibility, and we are spending airtime and data talking about something that doesn't make sense. Well, if you're joining me, my name is still Manzezoke, and this is still Njenje Media TV. You can subscribe to this platform if you like what we are doing. You can support what we are doing via the Super Chat or PayPal as well. Try as much as possible to share this stream. We would appreciate that, please. So, like I was saying, people, in the last couple of weeks, I don't think I've really been upset this way because of the verbacious nonsense I had this man spew, because of the nature of the things he said. I haven't, you know what I'm going to do, actually. Let me just basically allow him start afresh. I will just listen to him, but I warn you ahead of time. Protect your telephone. Do not smash your phone, because what he's going to say might get you to a point you want to put your telephone in the oven.
Thousand extraction. To me, believe you me, is the very wrong way to go about issues of politics that affects the whole nation. Because the message here, unfortunately, is like ganging up against the rest of the Nigerians, particularly the North, by state actors who should be the ones that will protect and advance the unity of this country and ensure that all the parts of this country will feel comfortable by whoever end of the day will emerge as the president of this country. But if you go the way you are going, and you have all the things listed in the communique or in their meeting, it seems to be a kind of ganging up against the North. When you look at the grazing, you look at the insecurity, you look at the issue of politics 2023, how can we have elected officials, governors for that matter, coming out in this manner to emphasize things that divide us, not talking about things that unite the country. I mean, it beats my imagination. And it's unfortunate that we don't have governors today coming together on issues of principle, that maybe that we are progressives, or we want a progressive government in this country, or we belong to a particular ideological leaning, and therefore we want to entrench that kind of politics in the country. But what we are hearing is that it's like these governors are not anything better than Igboho or Kanu or any person that is not elected to protect the nation. So I'm disappointed, really, to say the least, because by now we shouldn't be talking about these dichotomies that have nothing to do with good governance. You know, you talk about North, you talk about religion, you talk about where you come from, and you are talking about fairness. I think we are getting it wrong. And the earlier these governors wake up to their responsibilities of ensuring that this country becomes stronger as one indissoluble, and one united country, the better for everybody. The way they are going will even kind of scare the North. And the North, don't forget that the North, in fact, controls, you know, the largest chunk of the vote that you want to use to become the president of this country. Except if they are talking about president of Southern Nigeria, not the president of Nigeria. You must act in a way that somebody can entrust his future, his affairs in your hands. But the way these Southerners, the governors in particular, are going, is not in any way in tandem with the intention of the founding fathers of this country. And if you look at what I think most of Nigerians, particularly the Northerners, will take from this is that we are out against you, and we want to make sure that we will retaliate, you know, whatever you have been doing to us, which perhaps, you know, nobody in the North really intends anything bad, you know, for the country. In fact, insecurity they are talking about, who is the worst, you know, who is suffering, you know, the worst scenario of insecurity in this country? It is the North. Who is suffering the worst case of poverty? It is the North. Who is suffering the worst case of unemployment? It is the North. So what for God's sake are you saying in that case? So please, let us behave as responsible state actors that are elected on the basis of advancing the unity of this country, not on the basis of dividing this country between the South and North. So 2023 years, you know, everybody knows that. In fact, Sean, when you talk about fairness, and you look at the zones, North Central, where I come from, has not been given chance in this country to head the country in a civilian administration. All we have had, maybe from North Central, and everybody has had it, is a military junta. And the military junta are just people who they don't even consult anybody, right, you know, before they emerge. Yeah. So don't talk about fairness. When you talk about fairness, North Central should be given the opportunity to rule this country come 2023. So let us talk about how to unite this country. How to advance the
reason why I'm asking you this question is because you're a politician, and this conversation, politicians have this kind of conversation. I remember at the twilight of President Olusegun Obasanjo's
I'm speechless because I listened to him rant, talking about actually accepting. He said it, and these are not my words, so you couldn't accuse me of being prejudiced here. He said the North is poor. The North is ravaged by disease. The North is ravaged by poverty. The North is this. The North has been in power. The North, the North, the North. Insecurity ravaging the North. The North is in power. Did anybody stop you from stopping the insecurity? Okay. Are Southerners stopping you from stopping the insecurity? You see, people, I keep telling us, especially those of us from the old Eastern region, I keep telling us this thing. When we make argument because with bandit, I tell us the following. That someone has bandit does not mean I must have bandits. That someone has criminals does not mean I will have criminal. We all have different sets of value system. If you so much love our Almajiris and you want to keep them, that doesn't mean I will have to have them. If you so much want to, wake up and your pillow is cow and you don't want to ranch them, that doesn't mean I have to accept it. And if we, this mutual respect is what we are going to. Because until we get to a point where you need to acknowledge that this is no longer a way of life. There might have been a time that it was, but not in this century, not in this time, no more now, not longer now. So why this argument? Because the argument he was actually making, he was, in my estimation, my analysis here, he is actually arguing against himself. He is actually arguing against himself. Because all the things he's saying, all I can only say with one word is, then stop it. It's just like someone from the South saying, oh, yeah, cows everywhere, cow. If you're telling me cows everywhere, and I'll tell you, then stop it. Stop the cows. But for you to now get angry because of, get angry that someone says, since you're not going to do this, I'm going to do it my way. And we're all angry. You see, the reason why I tell us collective, the solution to this madness, I keep repeating the same thing for the past 3 years. I've been telling us, the solution to this madness is a collective South. You talk about Odua Nation, Biafra, this, the other. Listen, the solution to the madness is a collective South. You see it now? The collective South is just met only 2 times. And everybody is just already shaking. They didn't meet to say, they're supposed to give you 100 million. No, we want it cut down to 50 million. No, they didn't meet to. They didn't meet to say, okay, give us more allocation than they give you. No, they didn't meet to say that. They didn't meet to plan any evil against you because out of hatred. No, they didn't. Again, these are things that transcend party line, because if you understand, we're talking about 3 parties. We're talking about APTA, we're talking about APC, we're talking about PDP, that is across 3 geographical regions. Suddenly, majority of them, because when you look at it, Southwest 5 governors, Southeast 2 APC, that's 7. South, how many governors now? I think 4 governors in South are still within the, Obaseki is gone, So at the end of the day, you're looking at total where you have majority of the governors within the APC, yet they're meth. And they are basically now meeting to say we don't want this level of madness. And you're getting angry. And that is the anger is what I do not understand. Again, the solution to the madness remains a collective South. For long, we have been cowed. For long, we didn't know what was happening. But now we would have understood it. We must bury our differences and begin to say, we want the following. Whatever is it that we decide collective as a people, we shall begin to demand for it. But if not, because the whole thing just makes you, want to ask yourself, why? What for? What for?
Administration, the conversation of where next the president should go came up Even when President Goodluck Jonathan was in office, this conversation also came up. Where should it go? And I remember vividly that northern politicians clamor that power should return to the north. So why do you think it's going to make the north uncomfortable when, if you count the years, and after President Buhari leaves office, it would have been 8 years of a northerner, and there is this arrangement, an unsigned agreement within the political class that the power should be rotated, especially the PDP, be rotated between the north and the south.
The worst violators of the agreement you're talking about is even the southern, part of the country. When Jonathan was supposed to do only 4 years of his administration, when Yaradua passed away, why did he not stop after 4 years? Why did he go another 2 years and even wanted to have a third term? And the southerners want to load it over the north so that, now they're telling us that it is 8 years of Buhari. So after 8 years of Buhari, it must come. Constitution.
Listen, if not for this argument alone, I will go and let's get PVC. Let's see. Let's try it out. Wallah, I'm liking this conversation. Now we get to a point where we say we go tear draws. If we no work, make we go United States of South, however we want to call it. This aren't nonsense. Let me share with us. For those of us that might not be cognizant of those who might have forgotten, let's see. In 2013, this was what was being said here. Now let me go back. 2013. Look at it here. Let me actually increase it. Here, look. You see the date there? You see the date. And can I read for you? It says, Northern elders insist power must return to the North in 2015. Look at it. Published June 8, 2023. As the Northern insists on the return of power to the region in 2015, elders under the aegis of Northern Elders Forum have insisted that they would not back down on their agitation, just that they declared their readiness to work with any political party that will offer a Northern candidate its presidential ticket. The rest, they say, is history. Now you got it, and you've spent 6 years, you're getting into 8 years. Now, the South are saying this has been a gentleman agreement, which was one of the reasons, Tinubu and co, as someone said today that cracked me up. Someone said Tinubu and co was hoping they could do Buhari 419 and trick him to do one term, but the old man can't trick all of them. So now all of their mouth don't shut. I said that one enter. That one enter. But in essence here, you can see what I'm saying. If in this case we can see that there was a time,
even under PDP, it's supposed to be 8 years of President Obasanjo, and after that, North was to have 8 years. North didn't have the 8 years. So when you are talking about fairness, why don't we be fair with ourselves when we are talking? So don't talk about fairness here. Talk about how do we unite this country? How do we ensure that we have a president that can deliver,
Oga, why are you quarreling with the president? By now, Castina, Yaradua was there for 3 years. President Buhari has been there for 6 years, making it 9. By the time Buhari leaves in 2 years, it's going to be 11 years. Castina should have been one of the best cities, states in Nigeria, right? Having held the presidency for 11 years. But Castina remains among the poorest, both in IGR generation, in WAEC, in NECO, in JAMB, among the lowest. Then I ask, who president help? Restructure the nation the way we want it and stick the presidents in your, wherever you want to stick it. Who cares? Is it too much to say, okay, let us then restructure this nation properly the way of 1963 with current realities? All this nonsense will stop. If you want to keep the president, who will care about the president? Because the whole engine room of generation of funds will be within the regions. The regions can only give subventions or certain percentages to the federal, 10, 15%. So who cares what you do there? People will go home and they will begin to develop their place. But the moment we still run this superstructure of a unitary system being disguised as a federal system of government, it means absolutely one thing, that these agitations will continue. While I do understand, again, when you talked about Yaradua and the rest, but hey, the North knew Yaradua was sick, the same way the North knew Buhari wasn't, but did not. I kept asking, why is it that when it comes to presidency, you don't give us your first 11? Sorry, but I have to say it, you don't. There are people today that you will bring out from the North to be the presidents of this nation. Not many people would eventually care who actually, because I know there are those people, all those people that look like Willy Willy, hoping that they will do 2023. Rather than get those people that look like Willy Willy, those ones no follow. I don't mention any name, please. No send your, even when you're not in power, I know you might not have access to DSS. Don't send anything. Whether the one you get blow for air, whether the one you go send for night, don't send. I know you have like landing pad. So at the end of the day, people, when you listen to such arguments that like this man is pushing here, and you keep wondering, how did we even get to this destination? How did we get to this destination? How? I ask again, how did we get to this destination?
For the people of this country, where is the masses in all these discussions we're talking about? That the North, that we are, it is now the southern part that will have the chance to rule the country.
There is another issue.
No one's talking about the masses.
Yeah, there's another issue that is very critical. So the southern governors had said that come 1st of September 2021, they set it as a deadline for the promulgation of the anti-open grazing law in all the 17 states of the South in Nigeria. What's your take on that?
This is unfortunate, Sean, because we had, like I said, state actors, governors for that matter, giving ultimatum to a president, and you want to have peace in the country. You don't give.
Oga, I don't know whether you are reading from which paper you're reading, where they didn't give any ultimatum to the president. They said in their respective states, they are giving you enough time. If your car walks at 0.12 kilometers per hour, it's more than enough time for you to move from Enugu maybe to Nasarawa, for Christ's sake. What are we talking about? They didn't give the president's ultimatum, do not twist the word, Oga. Now, so adult, they take their lie. If I invite our lying minister now, what did I say? Oga, sorry, it's a slip of, I was talking too fast before it happened. Pardon me.
When my 7-year-old grandson called me and said, Grandpa, tell me the truth. Why did they call you Liar Mohammed?
Okay, but I didn't call you Liar Mohammed. Neither did I call you a lying minister. But what I'm saying in essence is that this man here is not saying the truth, because the Southern Governors Forum did not say they are threatening Buhari. They only said that on this date in September, they will at that time, all the states in the southern Nigeria would have signed these laws, all the bills into law on so date. Any cow they see walking on the road, even if Namaz says, okay, get her, even if the cow goes around with camera, written in Njenje Media TV, that cow will be consumed. That cow will be barbecued. I will donate tire. We will be whining it. I know some of you watching would like to donate pepper, Cameroon pepper. Some of you want to donate tomatoes, fresh tomatoes. Some will donate cucumbers, for the condiment. That's all. You have enough time. You have enough time to move these things. Move them. Who told you that it's only Northerners that have cows? I have said this thing, but it's just that sometimes we live in denial. Southerners have a lot of cows. You see, people are saying, yeah, slip of tongue, this tongue, I don't know what, now sleep, it sleep safe. But Ogalai Muhammad is my friend. He's Mr. Laim Mohammed is my friend, so he won't take offense because he said it himself. He was even trying to explain to a grandson. But on a serious note, people, September, there will be free suya. So everyone, some of you already donating again. Some are saying, some of you already donating onion. Some of you won't make heaven. No? You want to go and eat free. Some of you are donating Anthony is pledging yam. Yam is where you go take do it. Oh dear. Vandy says he's donating onion and firewood for the suya. Me, I will only donate Cameroon pepper. You know why I will donate Cameroon pepper? Because if I donate some, I will put some in my grinded Cameroon pepper. Put some in my pocket in case of incasity. Because if somebody says bring your hand, you're under arrest. So I can, because I don't know if other things work, but at least if I do like this, that one better pass tear gas. Honestly, the only way to survive is basically not to just. Because if you after listening to this manner of garbage, you can develop hypertension. I'm telling you, just to calm down a little bit. See, some of you are donating Maggie. It's not good, though. It's not good, though. Some will donate knife. We have finished the roasting now because see here, Ifan is donating granite oil. Someone is coming with basin. Now, wow, all of you. Anyway, some will say they declared special fasting techniques, no prayer. So, so if I say, I will donate German super. Oh dear, you guys are crazy.
Ultimatum, for God's sake. You don't gang up against your president. You don't, because they know that the president has come out with a policy on grazing. Why can't you go back into your rooms? I mean, into political parties or some caucuses or.
Engineer Yabagisani, is this a gang up? Apologies, please. Is this a gang up against the president? Because I didn't see the name of the president here. The solution of the southern governors is against the bandits and against the killer herders who they say are moving with weapons.
What Shehu didn't say here, I see that's why sometimes people accuse us of being politically correct. Shehu just basically said, this moves is against the bandits, it's against the criminal headers, it's against these people. But the man is saying is against the presidents. Are you getting it now? I don't know. I'm not saying that. Anyway, let me not say anything. But Shehu, let me repeat. Shehu said it's against the bandits, against criminal headers, against criminals. But his guest is saying, no, their decision is against the president. But does the president equal bandits? And Mazi, stop thinking. Stop. Okay, sorry. I take it back. But again, that's what they said before DSS jumps my fence now, because they like to come 130, 135. The time you are in gear 2, about to go into gear 3, they will just jump fence unannounced. And all we hear when they interview the Boho, he say, I hear people. He say, I had this gunshot. Bah, bah, bo, bo, bah. So maybe when I hear bah, bah, bo, bo, self, I can turn into a cat. I don't have all those, so I can't turn into a cat. And because I can't turn into a cat, I know my next destination will be, I will be giving free transport to Abuja. On a serious note, it is honestly absurd to sit down and listen to such conversation where an adult is virtually making.
Is this a gang up against the president? Because I didn't see the name of the president here. The solution of the southern governors is against the bandits and against the kill.
Sheung, DSS will come to channel, so stop saying this. This man is telling you it's against the president, and are you trying to say that the president knows those people you're calling?
Herders who they say are moving with weapons, and their solution is that there should be no to open grazing. That is their own solution. And why would you say it's a gang up against the president?
Nobody supports terrorism, because I even look at it as terrorists. People who are carrying guns without license, or without the authorities giving you the permission to do that. But the point I'm making is that everybody in this country and all over the world knows that Mr. President has come out very strongly behind the issue of open grazing. So why should state actors that are supposed to be in the same party with him, that are supposed to protect the interests of this country, now come out and give ultimatum, to the country, which is headed by a northerner? So this is wrong. This is the wrong way to run this country. Please.
All right. So let me, and I'll be concerning. Okay.
And then knowing that they are not representing, even though.
Let me bring back Mr. Falana into the conversation.
So actually, the Southern governors, again, for many of you who do not know, before I start winding up this evening, what they are wanting to avoid is something like this. Watch out. They want to avoid such level of confrontation.
Here is Imoson community. We are trying to pursue all these Fulanis with their cows out of our town. Kí Ọlọ́run kó là wá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí ni o.
If you burn it entirely.
Ìjẹ̀bú Imoson la wà yìí láti lé àwọn Fúlàní tí wọ́n da màálù wọ inú ìlú wa kúrò níbẹ̀. Kí Ọlọ́run kó gbà fún wa báyìí o.
A fẹ́ wọn ọjọ́ kan lọ, à ń lé wọn lọ. We don't want them. We don't want Fulani herdsmen in our town. Imoson is a peaceful town. We don't want trouble. We don't want anything wahala.
Thousands of màálù náà dà wọ ìlú yìí.
So apart from that, again, this is one of the things the Southern governors are trying to stop. Now, imagine a man who has gone to the banks, Bank of Agriculture or whatever. He's taken 5 million naira as a loan to plow into his farm in order to harvest. Maybe at the end of the day, he might be able to get about 500 to 1 million naira profit after expenditure. And on the day of harvest, after harvesting it, he has gone out to the town to go look for trucks to come and evacuate this yam so that he can get his fund back to and pay back the bank that he has taken that loan from. Now, but on getting back to his farm, and he sees this happening, what do you think he's going to do? He's going to clap for you for a job well done, is it?
Kala alan tije men no mana haba saje. Tuchi ma. Al kono mana alu na kono. Iya. Koko fua hurte ko. Dole masu
I don't know how you feel if that was to be your farm. Again, no one, I do not believe these laws or anti-grazing law is against the North. I do not believe. My understanding is that it is against anything that we hold there in the South where farmlands are being invaded and where, you know, people are being abused. And in the course of the confrontations, when something like the video I just played now, when something like that occurs and you want to speak to the individual or to the group, you end up having serious issues because obviously that is, you know, going to definitely lead into conflict. That's definitely is going to lead into conflict. And once more, you keep asking, can we ever get to a point where we can begin to look at things as individuals, as a collective, where things of certain national importance could actually matter to anyone without necessarily paying attention that these people are doing it against us or that these people are doing it against us. This is not the way I look at it. Is not being done against anybody, but it's in the in the best interest of the people, that the people will be protected. That's it. The best interest of the people. But at the end of the day, it appears there are basically those who think, no, it is against us. And if it is against us, then it should not happen. But again, there are so many things, there are so many things where you think this thing is not adding up. There must be something that is more to what is eventually all of us are seeing. There must be something more to it. There must be something more to it. Because if not, it should have been a question of, it's just like today. If there was a time, was it tramadol? I think there was a time tramadol, these abuse of tramadol was so prevalent in the North that at some point even orange drug was accused, and federal government banned the sale of tramadol. People didn't take to the street. People didn't come on national TV to say, oh, the sale of tramadol is against the South because the companies that produce them, people use them for cough and all the rest, the syrup, Emzor, orange drug, blah, blah, blah. It's against us. I think, when there is this regional policy, and bear in mind, that ban was not nationwide. That ban was specifically for northern states. So if no one raised this issue then, because every other person kept quiet, because when you watch that BBC interview and see the damage, the unintended damage that these drug abuse, now you talk about drug abuse, but businesses were cut off, distribution lines were cut off. But if it led to saving of lives of individuals, that's why our humanity should come in, that people should say, if it leads to people not getting access to this. But some people were arguing at that point that they started sniffing sellotape and sniffing sock away and sniffing even what they call in Nigeria gutter, sewage system, that they started sniffing it. But at least it was done. It was done in order for something to happen. And that eventually happened. So at the end of the day, people, watching that video, I felt like, no, there is this summary here. I leave us with the following here. There is this summary here. Because, and this is a very truthful conversation. I'll play this, we're going to upload that later, but I'll play this for you. This is very truthful conversation from a northern girl, a northern lady. When I watched the video, I said, wow, I wish all of us, not only in the north, but across the nation, that we can be speaking to ourselves, at times in this manner, in a way where we look at things dispassionately, without so much emotion, putting on our thinking caps. We, even in the South, we don't necessarily get it right all the time. Of course, none of us do. We do make mistakes as well, right? We make mistakes as well. Hold on. Let me quickly see if I can pull this up now, so that we see this together. I don't know. So this is it. Okay, so this lady here made fantastic, in my estimation, she made fantastic points. I might not be able to play the whole video, but let me quickly start from where she probably started speaking. Hold on. Okay, listen to her submission.
Nigerian thinks and Arewa are the problem of this country. Every average southern, western, and eastern thinks northerners are the problems of this country. Like, we are the people who are masterminding every problem, bringing in fake solutions, and amassing wealth for ourselves. The security challenge is Fulani herdsmen. I know Fulani people can be peaceful people and they can be terrible people as well. But how about this is beyond it? Now, the people at the helms of affairs in this country are not other than that. They are from us. They are our brothers and sisters. So what is happening? Let us defend ourselves, please. Let us change this narrative, because it's not funny. Everywhere you turn, they say, it's the north. It's the north. It's the north. And of a truth, they have facts. But that's not the reality we want them to see. Let us show them the true reality, than Allah. In the whole of Nigeria, nobody is suffering like the north. These people are just, fighting for security, and security is deteriorating every day, and it's business as usual, and they are bringing in new policies that is not bringing any good results. Now, an average northern is one paying for ransom, is one securing everything that he needs to do. But no, we still have billions of naira being sent to Maiduguri, to Katsina, to wherever. We are the ones that everywhere you go, if they see you as a northern, they just raise nose and say, you people are the problems of this country. But is that so? Are we actually the problems of this country? Or some old men are seated somewhere and they are actually using us as pawns in their master game? No, let's be honest. Let's ask ourselves honest questions. Finally, as Christians and Muslims in northern Nigeria, we have been at loggerheads for only God knows when. I have first cousins that are Muslims. I have one mama that are Muslims. They are my blood. There's nothing I can do. For how long are we going to be at each other's throats, killing ourselves, and these people just sit down and divide and conquer rule is what they have been using for the longest of time, keeping Almajiri as, you know, these people, if anything happens, let's mobilize them to fight. We have been fighting ourselves. How many times have you seen them send their children to, you know, let us tell ourselves the truth too. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Mumuke visha wahala. Mumuke sha wahala. Mumuke azaba. If anything happens, they will run and leave us. And Arewa, Musulmai the Christa. Every time I do Arewa things, you see Muslims separate themselves from Christians, and it's everywhere. Let it stop. Let it. How many good hospitals can you boast of in northern Nigeria aside Dala Orthopedic Hospital and that eye center being an ear center in Kaduna? How many investments, how many investors do we see coming to invest in northern Nigeria? Let us be honest. How many developments comes to north aside the bridges that these people are building for us? Like, what do we have to boast about in northern Nigeria as per Koma Mene? We have something. We have nothing. Say go ne kimu yezuma ba mazongo na ana kashe munji na, so we don't go there anymore. They amass wealth for themselves, give themselves good lives, and we, the little that we have, no, you as a Muslim fight against that Christian, you are not together. Zamada kazabaya hanayanka. That's our problem. I'm a Christian and I know what I see. I'm from Adamawa State. Gabadabaya. I have seen my people suffer. If I have an opportunity, you don't know how we are suffering. An average northerner cannot feed properly. Thank God that everything is relatively cheap in northern Nigeria. If not, I don't know what would have happened. Aside food, what else do we have? But we are the ones owning oil wells. We are the ones. See, one thing I want everyone to understand is all these people that you think got our back, if anything happens, they have dual citizenship. That's a good suburban. If they leave, we are doomed. If this country splits, wallahi Mozam Visham Wahala. Because when it comes to education, we are not educated. We are backwards in every standard. But we have been holding power for the longest of time. So why are we backwards? Some people have placed us that way. And we need to question authority right now. Because in Abiyabache, Mozam Visham Wahala.
So people obviously, oh sorry, people obviously, you know, conclusion here is that the arrogance in those statements, the arrogance in the way someone goes to your farm, takes out your yam and feeds the animal with it, the arrogance of you running with 2,000 cows into my farm and you want me to stop talking. The arrogance that I no longer recognize who is a peaceful header and a header from outside the country who has weapons to harm me. Now, the arrogance that you are telling me that I shouldn't cry out when I should, or that I should not protect myself even when you tell me to. Because at the end of the day, what the president, by his utterances, by his statements, by even those within the security sector, the chief of defense staff, and even the minister of defense, telling you on national TV to defend yourself. Now, if defending yourself means passing a law that will inhibit someone, or that would inhibit someone to come in a non-traditional fashion to harm me, then that would be silly. And that would be, all the educations would have been in vain if I would not see that and say, okay, the simplest thing to do is to do the following. My late dad normally said that, he says this in Igbo, meaning if you want to separate fight, you don't separate fight when punches are going on. You start separating fight from finger pointing. Now, until they point finger, somebody can knock away finger, and so point the take start. So if we must stop further killings, rape, invasion of farmland, and unnecessary conflict or avoidable conflict, if all these things are to be taken off the table, then we must then first of all go back and say, okay, what are the causes? If one of the main cause of faith is that cows move by foot, then we say, okay, fine. None of the abattoirs, none of the garkis or garikis, you know, wherever the garikis are, we have one in Amobia, we have one in Okigwe, in all those places, in Inequality, all those places you have gariki, the cow markets, they will still be there. The only thing the certain governors are saying, it doesn't matter if Mazes owns these cows or if Woloshoinka owns them, or if it's you know, Mr. Akim Baba Falowa or whatever, who owns it, doesn't matter. So it must not, cows must not only be owned by one set of people. So if we, you know, if our brothers from the north begin to see this way, that this is not against you, this is something that if you're being genuine, that you're also concerned about this crime happening, then you must support it. As long as you're against it and you want to work and you're working against it, there is no reason on earth for me to believe otherwise that you're not among those who are behind the carnage that we have down here. People, on that note, I will say thank you very much for joining me this evening. Join me tomorrow 6 p.m. as I will be having that conversation with Professor Akin Toye, Njenje Akin Toye, Hilda Dokubo, Daniel Boala, Ninadi. You know, again, these are people that I will be speaking to tomorrow, so including Professor Femi Olufimilade. If you will be my guest tomorrow, kindly join me. And for some of you requesting that we send them individual Zoom links, no, we cannot send you individual Zoom links because these things happen all the time. So we cannot be sending it individually to everybody. If not, we will never do other thing than to send it to everyone. What you can always do is you can see on the chat section where we have shared the Njenje Media Telegram group. So all you do, you can click on it. It brings you directly to the Telegram group. You can join and be part of that so that, you know, when these things come, they share it there. Everybody in the group gets it. So going one-on-one and share with people because you send us private message to share, sadly, we wouldn't be able to do that because that's, you know, creating too much administrative work as opposed to pushing it out there and for people to join. Again, if you also wish, sometimes we do share them on the YouTube community section. So if you do visit the community section most often, you would also see it there. On that note, once more, I will say thank you very much and see you guys all tomorrow. It's been a it's been a pleasure having you all this evening. You know, this party, the party between the northern governors and the southern governors, I am really enjoying that party. And let me also ask my brother if he's enjoying it. Brother, are you enjoying the party as well?
Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay,
I'm happy I'm voted, yeah.
Tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we'll happiness more.
I have voted for the southern governors to do often grazing, ban it. They can do what they want. I vote. You do what they want. You do everything they want. I like it. And inshallah, Ikwan Sakutemba, Every cow I see on the street, I will do me share. And inshallah, I am happiness more. I am happiness more if we do that. Therefore, I am going
on
to
the hour from Niger Delta Broadcasting Service. My name is Andrew Uweri Okere Ajapasa. Yesterday, some angry Warri Jaguda boys carried dangerous weapons like a cutlass, iron pole. I went down to the Borikoko oil facility. When they reached there, the security people vanished into the bush like Willy Willy.
So